From boating on Paintsville Lake to chasing history up Butcher Holler to jumping out of an airplane over top of Fort Knox, Kentucky, we'll do it all. It's an Earth, Wind, and Fire episode of I Want to Do That. For those of you familiar with Johnson County, this is Paintsville Lake State Park. With its steep cliffs and wooded coves, Paintsville Lake provides over 1,100 acres of boating, skiing, and fishing opportunities. Although we're only spending a couple of hours here, thousands of people each year enjoy the campground, which has 32 full-service sites. And if you don't have a boat, no problem, because the full-service marina rents houseboats, pontoons, and john boats. We stopped for lunch at Floaters, one of Paintsville's most popular restaurants, where you can pull your boat right up to your table. But if you're coming in on a weekend, though, be prepared to wait a few minutes to be seated, because Floaters Restaurant at the Paintsville Lake Marina is well known for having some of the best food around. During any visit to Paintsville Lake State Park, a stop at the Mountain Home Place is a must. Officials have created a working 1850s farm and community, complete with a blacksmith shop, a one-room schoolhouse, a church, a cabin, and a barn complete with livestock. You can actually buy fresh vegetables when they're in season and fresh eggs at the gift shop as soon as you pull in. The first stop on our tour of the Mountain Home Place is Fish Trap Church, dating back to 1843. My favorite part of that church is the quilts. Farm manager Russell Honeycutt explained to me that they were used in connection with the Underground Railroad. Apparently the quilts were hung on the clothesline to signal that a house was safe for runaway slaves, and the pattern on those quilts gave a very specific message. An 1850s community would not be complete without a one-room schoolhouse where children of all ages gathered. In fact, the writing on this blackboard is original, dating back to the last day of classes held in this very room. Just as important as a school or a church back in the 1800s was the blacksmith shop. In fact, both horses and people relied on the blacksmith in the community for shoes.
They didn't have a way to make shoes. They had to put rags on their feet or skins, hides or something like that. And he said they got shoes one time a year. He said the ground would be so cold. He said, nah, I'd wished I had my shoes. He said, but I'd make the cows get up and go to the barn, and then where they was laying, he'd go stand in that spot and get his feet warm on the dirt. And he said, so he really enjoyed when they got their shoe horns.
Before we leave, we'll stop and talk to Cheyenne, one of the volunteers here, who tells us just how popular the Mountain Home Place has become. Are you finding that more and more the longer that you guys have been here that it's becoming more popular with people to come out and visit?
Yeah, definitely. It seems like the more our garden grows, the more work we put into it here, the more people seem to come out.
Speaking of business, you're in the business of having weddings here sometimes, I hear.
Yeah, that's actually become one of our biggest businesses here. Some of the most beautiful weddings you've probably ever seen have been out here. The country top weddings, they've really become popular, especially with a lot of the celebrities doing that, so it's really been to our benefit.
Do you guys have Facebook? I mean, are you into just sharing everything that way also?
Yeah, actually here in the last year we've actually have a Facebook. You can reach us on Facebook at Mountain Home Place Farm.
If somebody is out on a Sunday drive, can they just come up and get an impromptu tour, or do you really encourage people to call ahead?
We do impromptu tours all the time, and just stop in and we'd be happy to give you one. We actually prefer that a lot of time. We like to really give personal tours. A lot of the places, such as this place here, have kind of switched over to doing the tours with the MP3 players, and that's something that we just really haven't done because we think it's so important to still give personal tours with personal tour guides.
Cheyenne, thank you so much for the hospitality you've given us today. Make sure you tell Russell that we said thanks for the tour.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's going to do it from Mountain Home Place Farms. When we come back, we're going to go to the other part of Johnson County. We're going to see exactly where Loretta Lynn and Crystal Gale grew up.
This is where country lives.
Only the best. Scotty McCreery, the band Perry, Faith Hill, Tim McGraw, the best country.
That's what I like to hear. You'll hear it all on 93.1 WDHR.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Ralph Stanley.
And this is Ralph Stanley II, and I am proud to be following my dad's footsteps.
The law firm of Wolf, Williams, and Reynolds have been representing coal miners and their families for almost 40 years.
Go see the fine folks at Wolf, Williams, and Reynolds. They live in these mountains, and they understand.
They will fight for you.
The moment they hand over the keys, the day a house becomes a home, the feeling when your dream becomes a reality. These are the moments you'll remember forever. At People's Bank, our difference is providing you financial peace of mind and confidence. By asking the right questions and working with you, we earn your business. We know your family and understand your story. People's Bank, working together, building success.
So you want to do that? Well, we want to help you get to your next adventure in a Freedom Ford or a Honda. Who wants to sell a new Ford F-150?
I want to do that.
Who wants to sell a new Honda CR-V?
I want to do that.
What about a pre-owned vehicle?
I want to do that.
New or used, four-wheel drive or fuel efficient, Freedom Ford and Honda in Iville has the vehicle for your lifestyle. So when it comes to your next vehicle, come to Freedom Ford and Honda in Iville. We want to do that.
One bank has the expertise and stability to provide all your financial needs. That is U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank can take every part of your business to new heights, from business lending to payment services, from equipment financing to commercial real estate, plus your personal banking needs. U.S. Bank can do it with a level of service no other bank can match. 9 locations proudly serving Pike and Floyd counties. U.S. Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you.
WXCC, 100,000 watts of kick-ass country. Proudly powered by coal. Tri-State's Coal Country, 96.5.
There's some kids get in here sometimes and switch them on me. Yeah, that's not it.
As soon as you enter the town of Van Leer, your first stop should be the Van Leer Historical Society and Museum. And Icky's on the bottom level is where you can start your tour of the museum and find Museum Director Tina Webb. In this 100-year-old building, which was originally the Consolidation Coal Company office, you'll find hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of history. From old mining equipment to carbide lamps, you'll see just how far the mining industry has come. And for all you fans of the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, you can even see Doc Turner's medical equipment. Tina, I know that we've been looking from room to room at all the stuff that you have in here, but you guys do events, and you're famous for them. And it jogged my memory when you just told me there were 5 coffins in that room over there. In October, you've got a famous haunted house.
Yes, and the fundraisers all fund keeping our roof on, you know, and our lights on, and that's how we function.
So you have things pretty much all year round?
All year round.
Now, Van Leer Days, you're famous for your soup bean dinner. Soup, beans, and cornbread
and
all
cornbread.
day long. If you look closely at that model, you'll see the building now known as Webb's Grocery, run by Loretta Lynn's brother Herman, who's actually waiting on us just up the road at their childhood home at Butcher Holler. Many people who visit the old home place discover the house locked up, as they don't keep regular hours. But if you're lucky enough to catch Herman there, you could get a room-by-room tour just like we did. When you remember in the movie, and because I say this all, I said it out here on the porch, I said, I just want to yell off this porch, stranger coming, stranger coming.
You know, back when we was kids, we was wandering, we was like donkeys on these hills. I think there was a stranger come up this road, that road where I was walking past. And we used to have salesmen to walk in these hollers. I mean, back then you had them. They'd get out and go up in hollers and they'd fix pictures for people, you know, big, nice frames, and you'd send them off. And then we'd have people come by working on sewing machines, oiling them, tuning them up, you know. And if somebody come up through your people didn't know, there'd be somebody watching you left the holler around the side of the hill. They'd pass on these benches, and somebody get up on the first bench and follow them almost all the way on the holler, make sure they left the holler, you know. That's the way people was back in them days. They was learned people, you know.
Up after the break, we'll go from country music to live theater under the stars.
Our lead is heavier. Our Floyd is pinker. We play our Aerosmith with more emotion. This is the sweet home of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Bob Seger, and more. The Rock Station, Classic Rock, 103.1 FM.
One bank has the expertise and stability to provide all your financial needs. That is U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank can take every part of your business to new heights, from business lending to payment services, from equipment financing to commercial real estate, plus your personal banking needs. U.S. Bank can do it with a level of service no other bank can match. 9 locations proudly serving Pike and Floyd counties. U.S. Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you.
So you want to do that? Well, we want to help you get to your next adventure in a Freedom Ford or a Honda. Who wants to sell a new Ford F-150?
I want to do that.
Who wants to sell a new Honda CR-V?
I want to do that.
What about a pre-owned vehicle?
I want to do that.
New or used, 4-wheel drive or fuel efficient, Freedom Ford and Honda in Iville has the vehicle for your lifestyle. So when it comes to your next vehicle, come to Freedom Ford and Honda in Iville. We want to do that.
For 30-odd years, Daddy worked underground and carried his dinner bucket. Hello, friends. This is Ralph Stanley II. You're listening to one of my hit songs, Daddy's Dinner Bucket. So many people in our area relate to that song. Wolf, Williams, and Reynolds have been representing coal miners and their families for over 30 years. Give them a call at 1-800-446-0167.
A summer day in this part of eastern Kentucky just wouldn't be complete without taking in a play under the stars at Jenny Wiley Theater.
The wind just sucked you out, you and your little parachute.
When I was pulling in to Jenny Wiley State Park, I thought, this could be cool. I grew up obviously in the South. I love the mountains. I went to camp every summer growing up. I love the outdoors. This is the first outdoor theater I've ever worked in, and doing South Pacific in it, it's such a magical element.
You know, it's interesting, when you drive up to the theater here in Prestonsburg, there's a sign out front that says Jenny Wiley Theater, Magic Under the Stars. And that's really true. Not only in the sense that you're in this beautiful surrounding, sitting in the theater. Tonight I was watching South Pacific, and you can see the moon up above the trees, and it's just, it really is magic. But there's more to it in that when you're sitting there, you forget that you're in eastern Kentucky. It doesn't matter where you are. All of a sudden, we're all part of what's going on the stage.
Frenchman, Marie Louise Island, moved here about 16 years ago. Lived with a Polynesian woman for 5 years. 2 children by her.
Well, for a long time, you know, Jenny Wiley was Prestonsburg, but we've expanded and now we're in Pikeville. And Jenny Wiley is a region now, and it's a community that has spread and I think is going to grow and reach so many more communities and give so many more opportunities in the arts that, you know, I never really had growing up.
The Jenny Wiley Theater has performances throughout the summer at the Outdoor Theater in Prestonsburg and in their new Indoor Theater in Pikeville. For performance times and ticket information, call the Jenny Wiley Theater at 877-225-5598. That's 877-CALL-JWT. What does Kentucky look like from 13,500 feet? You'll find out when we come back.
At Z107.5, we do not discriminate against any musical preference.
No way.
With the newest in pop, hip-hop, alternative, and rock. Z107.5. We bring all flavors to the table.
A mixture of variety.
Z107.5.
One bank has the expertise and stability to provide all your financial needs. That is U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank can take every part of your business to new heights, from business lending to payment services, from equipment financing to commercial real estate, plus your personal banking needs. U.S. Bank can do it with a level of service no other bank can match. 9 locations proudly serving Pike and Floyd counties. U.S. Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you.
So you want to do that? Well, we want to help you get to your next adventure in a Freedom Ford or a Honda. Who wants to sell a new Ford F-150?
I want to do that.
Who wants to sell a new Honda CR-V?
I want to do that.
What about a pre-owned vehicle?
I want to do that.
New or used, 4-wheel drive or fuel efficient, Freedom Ford and Honda in Iville has the vehicle for your lifestyle. So when it comes to your next vehicle, come to Freedom Ford and Honda in Iville. We want to do that.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Ralph Stanley.
And this is Ralph Stanley II, and I am proud to be following my dad's footsteps.
The law firm of Wolf, Williams, and Reynolds have been representing coal miners and their families for almost 40 years.
Go see the fine folks at Wolf, Williams, and Reynolds. They live in these mountains, and they understand.
They will fight for you.
Welcome to Wide Open Outdoors, Kentucky's largest outdoor store.
Come on, Greg, let's go upstairs and show them what we got.
Let's go.
Socks for guys and girls. Under Armour flip-flops and slides for men, women, and children.
We have Durango and Rocky boots for men, women, and children too.
Up until this point on I Want to Do That, I've been the one doing everything, and you guys have been the ones saying, I want to do that. But this segment is totally different. I'm looking at you and saying, I want to do that. Cindy, you got to jump out of a plane at 13,500 feet.
You know what's really great about that, Shannon? It's something I wanted to do since I was a really little girl. I used to dream about flying. I used to want to get my pilot's license, and I never got to realize any of those things until recently. And frankly, the Army made it possible.
Well, let's give everybody a little bit of a background. You being the Daybreak Morning Show on WDHR. At Hillbilly Days, you guys were live on TV.
And an Army recruiter came by and watched us do part of the show. And sometime after that, he recognized he had this opportunity occasionally when the Golden Knights, which is the Army's elite paratroop team, is going to do a show or have an exhibition, they will invite people to come and jump with them. And you know, I can understand why. It's a great opportunity to expose people to something they'd never get to do otherwise. And of course, it's a tool for the recruiters. It lets people like me come back and tell people how great that was in case they are ever interested in doing something like it.
I was there and I got to see it all, but I didn't have a parachute, so I didn't get to jump, but I got to film for you. And one of the things that we didn't talk about was we were there all day long.
It was a long process, and somehow, I don't know, I drew the short straw. I was on the next to the last flight that even went up, so we spent all day long
doing this. There comes one. There comes one.
Yeah, letting the anxiety build. The guys in the Golden Knights could not have been better people to work with and to make you feel really secure, because you figure if you're going to jump with anybody strapped to your back, you want it to be an elite paratrooper from the U.S. Army.
Do you have anything you want to say before you actually, go up 2.5 miles up, 120 miles an hour back down?
I leave all my important possessions to my children.
Leave all your important possessions. Okay.
The unimportant ones go to other people.
Although they might not have told you, this is your skydive. But if you were going with me, it's all about me.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Yes, it's okay. And right now, today, for you, it's going to be all about Joe.
Oh, good.
See,
okay.
Joe loves him.
And
Call
he
it
wants
vain.
to get home safe.
Call it vain, but Joe
gotcha.
loves him, he loves his wife, he loves his kids. You get to have fun and be safe through association.
I like that word. That works.
And he trained you. So today, you are going to be Army Strong.
Good deal.
Let me help you out, Cindy.
Thank you. Ah, it was incredible.
You just jumped from an airplane from 13,500 feet with the U.S. Army Golden
Yes,
Knights.
I did.
How do you feel?
I'd like to say I'm going to Disney World, but that wouldn't be nearly as cool.
Not nearly as cool. What was your favorite part?
When the parachute opened.
When the parachute
Because
opened.
I could breathe better.
Oh, okay.
But it was all fantastic.
All right, well, you did a great
Incredible.
job, and thanks for coming out and jumping with the U.S. Army Golden
Oh,
Knights.
thank you. Army strong.
Well, there was a whole lot of screaming like a little girl up there, but I think that was me, right? Was that me? I think that was me.
I was screaming like a big girl.
No, that was me screaming like a little girl.
How was it?
No, she did great, man. We stepped out of the airplane. I told her in the plane, it's like in a few minutes we're going to open that door and then we're going to step into my office because that's where I do all my work.
And he did his work.
Yeah, we did good, right? You did good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. It was just a ride for me. He did all the work, but it was incredible. Everybody should do this if you ever get the chance. Go Army. Go Army.
Yes, I did get to ride the airplane up with Cindy, but I didn't get to jump out of it, so I still want to do that. And I've been to Paintsville Lake and I've been to Butcher Holler a few times, but that's the first time that we've ever been lucky enough to catch Herman Webb up there to give us a personal tour. But if there's anything that you've seen on this episode or any of the episodes of I Want to Do That, make sure you go to our website, ekbtv.com, click on the I Want to Do That logo, and there you can find links to websites, phone numbers, and even behind the scenes photos for all the things that we've done on I Want to Do That.